Today on the channel, you're into the nightmare with Nightmare Spawn from McFarlane Toys.
The spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here. Welcome back to the channel for another McFarlane Toys Spawn unboxing and review. And today on the channel, we've got the Nightmare Spawn. But remember, for all your Spawn, McFarlane DC, and everything else under the sun needs, make sure you're hitting up Entertainment Earth. Use the code Kyle to save yourself 10% on all in-stock items, and everything over $39 does ship free. And of course, we're going to do this review like we do all the other reviews on the channel. We're going to take a look at the packaging, we're going to talk about it, we're going to unbox it, we're going to talk about it, we're going to see where it goes from there. So the Spawn line keeps growing, we keep adding members to the line, and we're here today with Nightmare Spawn. Now we're getting pretty deep, at least as far as my Spawn knowledge goes, but this is one of the many versions of Spawn in history out there, so we're really building out the universe. I'd still like to see a big deluxe figure of like Malabolgia, things like that. I gotta think one of these days we'll get that. Maybe that'll be a McFarlane Toys exclusive, but that would be a super mega figure. I'm here for that one. Hopefully that happens one day, but temporarily we'll be here for Nightmare Spawn. And I don't remember Nightmare Spawn from my days reading. I think he's a much later character, as is most of the characters. I think all the characters from this latest wave of Spawn figures we're going to be unboxing on the channel, so make sure you do subscribe just after my time. But still cool nonetheless, still part of the Spawn universe, and I just always loved Spawn since it began with Spawn #1, all the way to like Spawn 100 is where I read through. But a very good looking figure here, very good packaging. Just hope it stays together. I'm just never going to forget the Omega Spawn experience of 2022. But let's take a look at the packaging on this one. Love the red border on the package and then the green background with the figure. Just really looks cool. This is great packaging design. Huge window box showing off all the figure. Spawn logo, Nightmare Spawn, of course. 22 points of articulation. 14 and up. You 13-year-olds don't even mess with this. Spawn on the side. Very cool Nightmare Spawn. It looks like Spawn, but different. Maybe nightmarish. I don't know, something like that. But we got that going on there. And then the back, looking really interesting. This backing really reminds me of, what does that remind me of? Exodus? You guys know the band Exodus. We all know Exodus. Persona non grata. Was that their last album? Maybe the album before that? That's what it kind of reminds me of. The artwork here with the dead bodies and stuff reminds me a little bit of that. Or maybe a Cannibal Corpse album. I'm not exactly sure. But very interesting artwork on the back. No cross-sell, no blurbs, no cards, no nothing. So if you want to know more about Nightmare Spawn, you just got to research it yourself. They're not going to give you anything, which I always think is a huge miss. Without further ado, let's get him out of the package here. Of course, you got that necroplasm background. You got the Spawn stand in there. Always love that they give us a stand with our Spawn figures. I always think that is really good, and that is appreciated. A little blurb would be great too, but we'll take what we can get. See you later. See you later. Goodbye. We've seen these stands before. A Spawn stand, of course, DC stands, Mortal Kombat stands. They've run the gamut of the stand department. Then we get the old Nightmare Spawn right there in the package, looking good. Now I'm going to get him out. He's got twist ties all over the place. You guys know how McFarlane does it. They don't want things going anywhere. But also these twist ties, I think, can help break the toy. As we saw with Omega Spawn, I think maybe it was too tight around the hands that maybe loosen those up. And unfortunately, it just had a break in my presence. Very disappointing as we remember that review. We're going to clip him out. This is an interesting, too, this figure. As you can tell, it is a lot smaller than a lot of the other figures we've received from the Spawn line. Not always a bad thing, but we're used to kind of more chunkier jumbo figures, where this is a little bit smaller. Just a little bit smaller. That's all I got. Smaller. See you later. Goodbye. Twist tie off to the side, and we're off to the races. Let's see what old Nightmare Spawn is up to here. Very interesting, but gosh, like I said, very small, very skinny. Just a very interesting figure here. I mean, I guess they all shouldn't be huge, because if every figure is huge, guess what? Nobody's huge. So you need some of these little guys mixed in every once in a while. A very interesting figure here with these big old wings. These wings are on ball joints. I'm happy to report very tight, very good movement, and the balls do hold these wings up. You know, we've seen with a lot of toy lines that have wings on figures where the wings are heavy. They drape down, they knock the figure over, things like that. These are very light wings, very pliable, very movable, don't get in the way. I like that a lot. Let's walk through the articulation. I talked about the wings. Wings, they're on a ball joint here, looking really good, moving side to side, back and forth, really good. Nice flapping action to them, nice flapping for the wings. The arms do go all the way around. They do move out of the way, so you got a little bit of movement there at the shoulder to move them out of the way of the wings if you need to. You do get a bicep cut. You do get double jointed elbows. Single jointed, it looks like, because you're blocked by this big forearm apparatus here in red, nice spikes to it, things like that. You do get the hands back and forth. A little tightness on that hands, but you do get back and forth on the hands. Got a little small head here, up and down, back and forth. Tons of great movement on the head here. I like that. You got the hula hoop at the waist. Very skeletal, like a guy that hasn't eaten a meal in a long time is what this guy reminds me of. You do get the big old Nightmare Spawn splits if you need to. No thigh cut there, but you do get double jointed knees. Then you get the ankles back and forth, up and down. Very skinny, very skeletal, as I did say there, and a lot of spikes all over this thing. So very sharp figure. I mean, it's not going to cut your hand open requiring stitches. Maybe just a little Band-Aid. Maybe just a Band-Aid is all you're going to need. But a lot of spikes throughout on this one. I mean, it really does kind of look like a skeleton, even to the pelvic bone, into the skinny legs. Very skeletal feel. You got that kind of Spawn emblem going on in the chest here, and then the Spawn face. You got the big teeth, of course, the Spawn green eyes on this one. You got a crown of thorns basically going on. It is the Nightmare Spawn after all. No weapons, no extra things with him of any kind, but he's got the creepy long fingers, splayed out hands going on here. Just a very interesting figure to look at. Very nightmare-inducing, and it fits. It is Nightmare Spawn at the end of the day. Does he fit on the Spawn stand? Boy, he better, huh? Wouldn't that be a black eye? We'll put him on there, very tight. But he does stand on there. He's got a little bit of limitations in the hip department. His big pelvis bone does limit the legs going forward here. You got to kind of move them out and in. So it is a little hard to get him to stand. This is one of those guys who wouldn't be bad to be on a flight stand, though. I wish they would have included, you know, we've seen DC Multiverse figures with a flight stand. This guy would benefit from a flight stand, I think, with his wings and everything else. Might make him look a little bit better. But not bad. For what it is, this isn't terrible. It doesn't feel as big, doesn't feel as chunky as a lot of the other Spawn figures we've got in recent months and years. But it is cool. Now, it's not a character I don't think everybody is going to know, but if you're building out your universe, you like the aesthetics of this toy line, I think it'll look good on a shelf there. I got no problems with it. For around 20 bucks, it's worth picking up. There's no big deal with this one. It's not like we had to pay 50. Omega Spawn looking at you. 20 bucks around this point, that's all right for me. So Nightmare Spawn, not too bad. A little comparison action. Here is regular Spawn. This is a really, really good one. This is from the Mortal Kombat 11 line. A great plain Jane paint by numbers Spawn to use in your Mortal Kombat or in your Spawn line or your DC line if you want to. You can kind of see that comparison there. And then against the Holy Grail, the big old Violator mega figure, you can kind of see that difference between these guys as far as size-wise goes. But all three, very good figures. I'm here for it. So Nightmare Spawn gets a pass from me, but what say you? You into Nightmare Spawn? You into the Nightmare? Let me know in the comments down below your thoughts on Nightmare Spawn. Don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Turn on the old notification bell. We got videos every single day and then some, and we're unboxing a ton more Spawn stuff here on the channel, so you'll want to check those out for sure. Don't forget about the Patreon, link in the description below. Early access to videos like this, bonus content, exclusive content, giveaways, Q&As, you name it, it's all over there on the old Patreon channel. Best of all, you do support the channel, and you can also support the channel at ProWrestlingTees.com. And then don't forget to hit me up on social media. SirPaul64 is where you're going to find me on Twitter, Instagram, _Kyle_Peterson. So for Nightmare Spawn, I'm Kyle, and I'll see you guys all real soon.